In this video, I am going to share with you one prebiotic, one probiotic and one postbiotic Indian recipe that are great for your gut health. If you are interested in finding out what these recipes are, please keep watching. Hi everyone, welcome to Simplify. My name is Nirupama. I am a PhD in food science and a certified nutrition coach. To get in touch with me for a personal consultation, please visit the link in the description box. For those of you who are new here, I have made quite a few videos on gut health, right from foods that are good for your gut health, how to take care of your gut health, and a few recipe videos as well. I will link all of those in the description box. Please take time to check them out. I also have an announcement to make at the end of the video, so please stay along. Let's get to the recipes. The first recipe is a prebiotic recipe using raw bananas or kacha kela. We are making raw banana tikkis. Prebiotics are foods that act as food for our gut microbes. Prebiotics help in increasing the number and diversity of beneficial microorganisms in our gut. Raw banana is a great source of prebiotic fiber and resistant starch, both of which help in nourishing the gut microbes. All the ingredients used for making this recipe are also extremely gut friendly. For making 8 to 9 tikkis, you're going to need 3 raw bananas. I am going to start by chopping off the ends of these raw bananas. I will not be peeling the raw bananas at this stage. Now I am going to place these bananas in a pressure cooker, add sufficient amount of water and pressure cook them for 2 to 3 whistles. Once we allow the steam to release, it's time to check. Yes, these look perfectly cooked. I'm going to take these raw bananas out in a container and allow them to cool completely before proceeding. Now that the raw bananas have cooled down completely, I'm going to peel them and lightly mash them. Time to add some spices and flavors. I'm going to add some chopped green chilies, chopped ginger. I like to add a good amount of ginger since it helps with digestion. I'm also going to add 1 small chopped onion. Adding onion is optional. Some chopped coriander leaves, 1 teaspoon fennel seeds or sauf, and salt to taste. I'm also going to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of rice flour as a binding agent. All these ingredients, ginger, fennel seeds, rice flour, are extremely gut friendly. Also adding a little amchur powder for the tangy chatpata taste and some roasted cumin powder. Now I'm going to get my hand in and mix everything really well to bring the flavors together. Time to start forming the tikkis. I'm going to make small roundels of the mixture and press them flat. My tikkis are ready to be shallow fried. You can use any kind of pan for frying. I am using a non-stick pan solely for the purpose of convenience. Heat the pan, grease the pan with 1 to 2 teaspoon ghee and place your tikkis on it. Make sure to keep the flame low. After 4 to 5 minutes of cooking, flip the tikkis. That's some lovely color on them. Cook the other side as well for another 4 to 5 minutes. My super nutritious prebiotic raw banana tikkis are ready to be served. This is best had as an evening snack. I am serving these with some mustard sauce on the side. You can serve with any homemade chutney of your choice. A lot of my clients whom I ask to eat raw bananas say they don't know how to cook it. These tikkis are an easy way to incorporate raw bananas in the diet. They taste very good too. Moving on to the second recipe. The second recipe is a probiotic recipe made using ragi or finger millet. This is known as ragi ambali. Ragi ambali is a popular dish in Karnataka, mostly consumed in the months of summer. This is a probiotic recipe, meaning that it has live microorganisms in it, and consuming this will help in introducing beneficial microbes to your gut. Let's find out how ragi ambali is made. For making ragi ambali for 2 people, add half cup ragi flour to a bowl. I am using sprouted ragi flour here. You could use regular ragi flour too. To this, add 2 cups of water and mix really well to avoid any lumps in the mixture. Now start cooking the mixture on a low flame while constantly stirring it. It will take at least 9 to 10 minutes to cook the ragi. It is important to keep stirring the mixture during this process so that it doesn't develop any lumps. Once the mixture starts thickening like this, cook it for another minute or 2, turn off the flame and then allow the mixture to cool down completely. Once it has cooled down sufficiently, I'll be pouring this mixture into another container. Cover the container with a cloth and allow it to ferment overnight or for at least 8 to 10 hours. You can tell from the smell that the ragi has now fermented. I will now season this mixture. I'm going to add some salt to it. Add a cup of buttermilk and churn the mixture really well. It's time to now pour out this ragi ambali into a glass and add some chopped onion and chopped coriander leaves to it. This is the traditional way to serve ragi ambali. This delicious, cooling, probiotic drink is now ready to be served, great for your gut and rich in antioxidants. The third recipe is a postbiotic recipe known as Chakuli pitha. Postbiotic foods are foods that involve the process of fermentation. During fermentation, the microbes in these foods produce a number of beneficial nutrients for us. These include vitamins like vitamin B12, vitamin C, vitamin K, minerals like iron and potassium, as well as a lot of beneficial bioactive peptides. Although the microbes don't survive the process of cooking, these fermented foods still provide us with all the beneficial nutrients produced during the process of fermentation. Idli, dosa, dhokla are some examples of these postbiotic foods. Today's recipe is Chakuli pitha, which belongs to the region of Odisha. You may say that it is quite similar to dosa, although the ratio of grains used in this recipe as well as the accompaniments used are quite different. Let's see what the recipe is. For making 2 to 3 servings of Chakuli pitha, add 1 cup rice and 3/4 cup black urad dal to a bowl. This recipe can also be made using skinless white urad dal. Add sufficient water to soak the grains. After allowing the ingredients to soak for 5 to 6 hours, I discard the water and rinse the ingredients with water once again before transferring everything into a mixer container. Grind the ingredients into a paste that looks like this. I have kept the paste slightly granular. Pour the batter into a bowl, cover it and allow it to ferment for 8 to 12 hours. This is what the batter looks like post fermentation. It has risen really well. I'm going to add some salt to the batter and also some water to bring it to a pouring consistency. Now it's time to make our Chakuli pitha. I read somewhere that traditionally Chakuli pitha is made using mustard oil, but you can also use ghee. Heat a pan, pour 1 to 2 ladles of batter into it and spread it around. I'm going to cover and let it cook. Once the pitha starts coming off the pan, I'm going to add some mustard oil to the sides and over it and flip the pitha. After another minute or 2 of cooking, Chakuli pitha should be ready. I'm serving our crunchy Chakuli pitha with some ghugni on the side like it's traditionally done. This ghugni is made of dried white peas or mutton. You will find many recipes for this online. Our healthy, delicious, postbiotic Chakuli pitha with goodness of vitamins, minerals and antioxidants is ready to be served. I found this recipe extremely filling too. Those were the 3 gut-friendly recipes that I had for you guys. I hope you found this video useful and I really hope that you will try out some of these recipes. They are not at all time-consuming, in fact very easy to make with great health benefits. Now coming to the announcement, if you think you have benefited from my videos on gut health and you're interested in a more in-depth understanding of your gut, I'm here to tell you that I'll be conducting a live webinar on understanding your gut and ways to take care of it, along with a step-by-step action to heal your gut. I'll be conducting this webinar on the 21st of September, which is a Saturday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. IST. I will also make available a recorded version of the webinar to those who cannot make it live. I will leave all the details for registration in the description box in case you want to sign up for the webinar. That's all from me for today's video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care until then. Bye.